Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sweet Reality Kenya TV. Sweet Reality Kenya TV is breaking barriers, going beyond East Africa, going beyond Africa, to just get you the very best of the stories of our legends, the 1980s and 90s. Today, we meet one of the finest, one of the most refined forward liners in Kenya, Keffar Tasso. Welcome, Tasso.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me.
If this question was posed to your mom, who is Keffar Tasso? What do you think her answer would be?
She would probably say pastor. She always prayed that I become a pastor. She used to call me pastor when I was young. And when she, in all her prayers, she was saying that she would love me to be a preacher of the word. But it's true, in all honesty, that she was my best friend, and we understood each other very well. And I went through rigorous discipline under her watch. She was always afraid of me, like getting hurt. But I really received the discipline that you call discipline from her. She was very, very watchful over me, and she wanted me to always be home studying, doing ordinary chores. And honestly, I believe she really shaped my life, my formative years. She's the one who really shaped me. She was my best friend, and she's resting in peace now.
Oh, may her soul rest in peace. Now, instead you became the preacher of football. Tell us about your journey.
I've never been like the preacher of football, but I've always been in on the congregation side. That's where I prefer to be. I'm better off on the field than like preaching the game, so to speak. But like even now at my age, I'm still learning about football. I like playing with the people younger than me, or even my age mates. But my journey has been good. I have loved it all my life. I've played with people that I was fun. I mean, they are fun. And I grew up with kids that were really good. And I was lucky. I was never the best in anything that I played. But I was lucky to have guys around me who were really good. So my journey started way back in Eastlands in Jericho, where I was born, and I played for our first club that we formed was called Rabai. I came up with that name because I was the captain of that team, and I played with the other guys of my age mates, like the likes of John Shotolukoe, John Odie, Ben Gashie, to name just a few. But we had a very good team, and we like dominated the leagues that we played in Eastlands. And then I grew up, was selected to the Nairobi Olympic youth team, where I was for a while until in primary I was in a school called Shule Road Primary School, which is now Rabai Road. And then I joined Nairobi Technical. I played for my primary school as well, from class 6 up to 7. Then we never used to go up to class 8. And then at Nairobi Technical, I played for the school team as well, where I participated in tournaments like the Kadenge Cup, which featured the Form 1s and Form 2s below the 50 kg. And then from Nairobi Technical, I joined Musingu. It was very interesting at Musingu because my father wanted to take me away from Nairobi because I was like, he felt, rightfully so, when I look back, that I was now, because I was, when I grew up, I was very like among the top students in our class. I was always, the top two. So unfortunately, since I was now getting so much involved in football, my father felt that he needed to take me out of Nairobi to stop me from engaging so much in football, not playing football at all. So I was selected to join Nairobi Technical for my A levels, where I was from Form 1 to Form 4. But my father organized in a way that I had to join a boarding school away from Nairobi, where he felt I was so much in playing football. He had never seen me play, but he heard from people, and of course he noticed that I was performing not as well as I used to, because I could not balance well between the game and books. So that's how I ended up in Musingu. So when I went to Musingu, my mother took me there. My dad apparently was very busy at that time, so I was taken to Musingu. They had organized they had talked to the head teacher there through some of my dad's friends, and then of course I met the academic qualifications. And then when I went in there, the first day, I remember the first day at Musingu, the principal was not there. But since he was our contact person at the place, we were told to wait for him, that he's gone out, he'll be back shortly. And it was getting late, and I had never been in boarding school. So we entered the Musingu gate, waited at the secretary place, the HM's office. When he came back, on that day he had gone to his village back in Kabras. He had arranged for a soccer team to come and play against Musingu. That's what I came to learn later. So when he came, he was told that there were visitors waiting for you here. And he actually came there and asked, "What are you doing here?" And I was with my mom, and then my mom produced the letter that he was supposed to. And he went through that and said, "Oh, you are the one who unacheza mpira." Then we have a game today. He had come with a local team from, I think, his village there in Kabras, a team called Tande AFC or something. So when he said, "Unacheza mpira," then I said, he looked at my school living certificate and said, "Unacheza mpira, nasikia unacheza mpira." And I'm like, I thought, okay, I had heard about Musingu in football, Musingu and Kakamega High School. So when he looked at that, he said, "Okay, we have a match today. Leo nitakuwa interview yako." Then he told my mom, "You go home." It was late, around getting to around 4 p.m. and 4 to 5 p.m. And I think now it was actually raining. So he told my mom, "You go, akicheza mpira vizuri utamchukua." Then I'm like, I don't even want to stay here. I want to be in a boarding school. I had never been in one. So anyway, my mom left, and I was asked some questions then he asked me, the coach of the football team, to give me some boots. Some boots were taken from the store. "What size do you wear?" I told them my size, and there we were. Some of the other first team players were still in class, players like Dennis Munyendo, and among others who are still in class. So a select team, including me, for the first time, I just went and warmed up and played against that team. Luckily, it was my good day, my good first day, because football for me was at home. I used to play in very poor soccer playing fields back in Nairobi, where we had no grass, and here in Musingu, to me, that was like. So we went there, I played before the first team came in. And when the first team was coming in, Munyendo and among others, I was told to stay in. Now I was playing 8 because they asked me, "What position do you play?" I said position 8. So I was put at position 8, and apparently we played with players like Ata Onyango, who was super good, very good, and we combined so well in the first half. So the rest of the team were told to go out. Me and Odhiambo remained. I was pushed to position 10. Mnyendo came in, and we had a very good game. And from then on, I was a Musingu student. And from Musingu we played, but I was, because Mnyendo was super good, he was way above like school standards, so I could not match him. So most of the time when I would play with him, I would play position 10 and he would play 8. But most of the time, because of I was always on the bench, because I couldn't like take his position. But my lucky break came, of course, when he did his A level, and when I was now in Form 6, I took the position 8, and we played so well again. I mean, around that time, and from there I joined the AFC Leopards straight from. My first tournament was the Eastern Central in Sudan, where I also had a good tournament. It was not like a very tough compared to the games we played at Musingu. Funny enough, the ones we played at Musingu were tougher, but the Eastern Central to me appeared simply maybe because I had very good players around me, and I was lucky to be fielded in the first game. From then on, the second game, I played all the games up to the final, and because of the support I had around me, I guess
I now understand why you are the darling of Musingu fans, the Musingu students then, even after you had left. Because you became a star immediately you joined Musingu High School.
Wale tu Win Stars. Wale mastars tu wale mama. Uwe ajisemi ati hawa walikuwa masters. Wanasema tu okay. Aweza ka comment that alikuwa star. Let me tell you, as far as I know, for the years I was at Kakamega, Kenya Musingu, Sigalangala, those schools kwa nacheza nazo football. Tasso was a star. Hata wale alikuwa anacheza naye. From opponents, for example, go like Kakamega High School. Walikuwa wanasema Tasso ni star. Yes, Tasso alikuwa class nyingine bwana. Tasso is a great star. Yeye bado anaongezea marks zake kuwa star, and he was very humble. Tasso alikuwa mko form 1, uko nini, Tasso was just quiet and very humble and obedient. Hata yake kutembea DH, alikuwa amefunga bao bwana. Shule yote imeenda crazy.
At AFC Leopards, which are the big names you played with? Who was your coach? And did you ever play for Harambee Stars?
I was not a star at Musingu, but played alongside very talented players who made us win the National Soccer Championship after so many attempts. And we had players like Maurice Magomere, Mike Wambani, Jacob Lijodi, Ata Onyango, Enoch Momanyi, among others, that were really very talented. That they could, some of course who could do stuff that I could not do, and we came up with a very good team. And also, I would like to correct the notion that I was the captain of the team that won the national championship. I was not. We had a captain who was who had been elected by the school. My tenure had already ended, and I was only acting and sometimes as a field captain. But we had our captain who was Masika Inguni, who was also among the talents that were at Musingu, one of our very good strikers. So he was the captain of the Musingu Scorpions team that year that won the championship. I only acted at times as a field captain when I was playing. Looking back, the best times I had in my life was at Musingu High School. Although it took me quite a while to settle, almost I took the whole of the first year to settle down and get accustomed to the boarding life. But finally I made so many friends at Musingu, I received so much respect, and if I was to relive my life again, I would definitely go back to Musingu. The friends I made there have been lifelong, and we get along with most of the ones that I made there, and I really think that's one of the best moments of my life. And at AFC Leopards, I played alongside players like Peter Lichungu, Miki Weche, Mike Amwai, Dan Musuku, Sammy Tabu, Wilberforce Mulamba, JJ Masiga, Mahmoud Abbas, Josephat Murila, Aina Sabwa, and so many others. There are so many that I played alongside in my 10 years at AFC, so it will take like a whole day to name all the players, and there were so many that helped me enjoy my career while I was playing. My first call up to national duty was in the youth team. Coach Nyongesa is the one who called me to the youth team the same year, 1985, when I joined the AFC. And then I was under, many coaches at AFC. The coaches that I was under was like Coach Robert Kiberu, who gave me the first opportunity to play in the first team. And then we had Graham Williams, then Charles Giamfi, and then Ruben Malola, and then what was his name again? Tom Olaba came in when I was just about to leave, and then the national team, I was called by Coach Chris Makoha, may his soul rest in peace. He called me, he gave me the first call up to the senior team, and we had a tour of Brazil, where we were there for a training stint of 1 month before we proceeded to the Cup of Nations in 1988. Yeah, that's about it. As far as my soccer career of the top flight is concerned. But later I left AFC and joined my employer's soccer team that was formed after Kenya Commercial Bank. I played for Kenya Commercial Bank for 3 years. After I left AFC in 1994, I stayed out of soccer for I think about 3 years, and then joined KCB team in 1997. They had a very good team, very talented youngsters, most of them teenagers and some who are just newly employed. Most of the team were not actually employees. There was just about 1 or 2, but had a very, very good team. And in that team, I joined them in 1997, and we managed to play up to, they were still in the lower division, but we managed to reach even the Moi Golden Cup semi-finals, where we lost to eventual winners KCC of Eldoret. But we had a very good outfit. All of them, of course, were far much younger than me. I was the oldest in that team, and I played alongside, there were some players like Hezekiah Shikanda, the late Hezekiah Shikanda, and Eric Omondi, who was brother to Musa Otieno, former Harambee Stars captain in that team. So I played for them for 3 years and left in 2002.
I'm very sure if I was interviewing Masika Ingunyi, he would have mentioned you as one of the stars of Musingu High School. You were a field captain of a team that won the national championship. You played for AFC Leopards for 10 good years. And Keffar Tasso still insists he was not a star. I can now see why your mom wanted you to be a pastor. Humility. Humility. Now, tell us about your family and this lady who knew you before you knew yourself.
I was born in a family of 8 siblings. That's 1 brother and 6 sisters, 2 of whom are now deceased. My mother is also deceased. She passed on way back in 2004. And my dad is a retired banker. He's back home in our village in Madivini, that's in Ikolomani, Kakamega County. My mother was a real disciplinarian, and we owe a lot to her. And we thank God for, everything that they gave unto us. And I believe that we are what we are. The little that we are, we owe it all to our parental guidance.
That's great. So your family is in Kenya, and any footballers within them?
I am married with 3 children, a girl and 2 boys. My last-born son completed his exams at Kakamega High School in the last exams, and I really thank God for the family that he gave unto me, and I thank God for the way that he has been guiding me and my children, and I pray that he continues shepherding them according to his ways. My children, both boys, play soccer, and one of my sons is in the US, plays for his college team. The other one was playing for the second team of Kakamega High School. That's about it. My family is in Eldoret.
I saw on your Facebook page some donations to an autism center, other donations to a cancer center. Tell us about your giving back to the society.
Oh wow, you are sneaky, aren't you? Honestly, I don't know what to say, man. I know I owe society more than I have received from society, more than I've given, and if there's anything that I would give is just like sharing with a friend what I might have. If I have like a cob of maize, why can't we share with my friend? He gets half, I get the other half. But to be honest, would I remember that really? I think it's just like if I have something I want to share with my friend, because all my life I've received from others. Like, let me just tell you a very quick story. Like, I had never owned my own pair of boots until I joined the AFC. In fact, that was when I joined the AFC, something like my transfer fee or my transfer fee was a pair of boots, new boots. That was the first pair I ever owned, and yet I had played soccer all that time. So where was I getting boots to play soccer with? I was being given by friends, and then that sort of what do I call it? Such sort of gestures would continue over time, so that when I get another pair of boots, I'll share it with somebody else, maybe who would not have, or who would have challenges getting a pair to play the game that he loves. So honestly, I have no trail of such, if I remember anything, it's just like maybe it's at the back of my mind, but not something that I really want to dwell upon.
Now, Tasso, if you were to pick a first 11 from all the Kenyan players you've seen, how would your first 11 be?
Wow, that definitely would be the most challenging question I've faced in a long time. I've watched players for over 4 decades, and to come up with like 11 of them who are the best, that will be very challenging to me. But say probably I would like give you some of my favorite players. They might not even be 11, there might be more. And I know if wherever I stop, there'll still be others that I believe would have been good. But anyway, I'll give you names that will come first to my mind. Okay, my all-time favorite player, that one I've got no doubt about it. My all-time favorite local player was Sammy Owino Kempes, formerly of Gor Mahia, and he played also for the national team. And we were in the same school actually. When he was in Form 6, I was in Form 1. Other players that were, I would say were some of my favorites, was another one who was my teammate as well. That's John Shotolukoe. And then I would go across. You will notice that probably I'll name most midfielders, and that one will not give you a first 11 because you need defenders, midfielders, and attackers, and even a goalkeeper. But I'm giving you my favorite players. That's the best I can do. Dennis Musingu will still fit in that bill, and then I would have Wilberforce Mulamba, JJ Masiga, Austin Odwor. I'm just naming them randomly. Austin Odwor, George Onyango Fundi, Abbas Magongo. We had Dan Musuku. Yes, Dan Musuku will definitely rank among the top players. He was a teammate and he was way a class above others. That's a random one, unless you give me more time to come up with the names. Okay, the goalkeepers, of course, we had Mahmoud Abbas was one of the best, and I had also another teammate who also played for the national team, was called Pitalis Owuor. He was very good. And then who else? Maybe I'm not easy at summarizing that. If I had more time, probably I would come up with a few names, and that one I would call it, these are my favorite players. But to come up with my first 11, I'm not sure I have enough time.
Very nice, Tasso. Your lineup only lacks fullbacks, number 2 and 3, and maybe number 7.
As I told you earlier, maybe I needed more time, but yes, of course I was forgetting somebody like Wycliffe Anyangu. That one will take the fullback bill. And then I think I had given Dan Musuku there. Maybe we'll take that right side position. And of course now we had one of our best strikers, that is Ambrose Ayo.
What would you tell the young and upcoming Kenyan players, the footballers? What should they do? What should they know?
My advice to players, both current and say upcoming players, is to always remain disciplined. Discipline is paramount. When you are disciplined, you'll be able to learn so many things that you need your career. And also remember to guard your body, not to indulge in stuff that will mess up your physical body, because your body is what you use in that sport that you love. So always make sure that you guard it. And then above all, is the number one thing is education. You have to pursue your studies in whatever field, but always make sure that your studies, you balance between the books and the sport that you love. Because like as a player, you only play for so long, maybe not beyond 30 years if you are lucky, but there's so much thereafter to live. After playing, you will either become a soccer coach, a soccer manager, you own your own academy, or just in the other different fields. But through that, you need to have acquired the necessary knowledge for you to pursue dreams beyond playing soccer. So you really need to acquire books, and of course that will give you the best leverage for you to pursue to go into your future. And above all, of course, always give thanks. Give thanks to God. God is the one who gave you that gift, and in all you do, you give thanks to Him. He wakes you up in the morning, and He gives you the protection that you need to engage in the sport that you love. So those are the few points that maybe I thought throughout the life I've realized that discipline, be willing to learn, stay focused, guard your body, and above all, always be of good cheer. Make as many friends as possible as you would in this sport, and always know that without friends around you, even your opponents, never look at them as enemies, because just remember, without the opponents, actually there will be no game. You have to have an opponent to play the game that you love. So respect them. Yes, it's a competitive game, but always respect them for them giving you the opportunity to exercise the sport that you love.
Viewers, that was a great talk with the soccer maestro Keffar Tasso. Asante sana Keffar Tasso for coming to our studios. Thank you so much. At least now we have your story. Thank you so much and welcome once more.
Thank you very much for having me, brother. God bless you always.